GamingBolt presents 15 gamers who were banned for absolutely nonsense reasons. Sometimes you'll hear stories about someone angry because they were banned from a video game, and maybe you think to yourself, well, what did you expect, stupid? We don't like admitting our flaws or that we've made mistakes, and being a toxic factor online will usually earn you a ban. Sometimes, though, players receive a ban for just really ridiculous reasons. These are 15 of those times. Stream sniping. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. While the PC gaming world is going wild for chicken dinners and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, some of the more creative among the player base have been taking advantage of streamers and the fact that they're publicly broadcasting their positions to their viewers. Stream sniping is the act of using a live stream to locate the broadcasting player in order to kill them. While it can be hard to prove, recently a streamer called Lodo received a ban for it after a fateful match with other streamers, kicking off a rather large tiff that eventually saw comments from Battlegrounds community staff. Clean players randomly banned in exploit sweep. Star Wars: The Old Republic. MMOs can be surprisingly complex for the outside viewer, and one of the hardest things to do is maintain an economy. In 2013, in response to an item duplication exploit that many players had begun to abuse, BioWare needed to drop the hammer. The problem was they went about using a sledgehammer when a scalpel would have done, catching about 150 innocent players in the ban wave. BioWare quickly apologized and did their best to clean up the mess by unbanning the players. Anti-cheat system catches players for their controller choice. For Honor. Of course, the most important thing for fostering an online community is to keep it fun for as many people as possible. For Honor might have overcompensated around the launch, as their easy anti-cheat protection in the PC version of the game was kicking and banning players for using a specific X-Patter controller within the game. The controller did have the potential to allow players to customize quick strings of attacks to a single button, which would be cheating if they actually knew that the players were doing it to begin with. Buying a banned Xbox 360? That's a paddling. Microsoft. Part of their proactive involvement in maintaining the Xbox Live community, Microsoft occasionally sweeps their systems for bad factors, like cheaters and pirates, and would go as far as to lock out their hardware for access to Xbox Live at all. But should little Timmy save up his allowance and go grab that same Xbox 360 the big bad pirate dumped off at GameStop for a mere $10, Timmy would quickly find out that though he did nothing wrong, he's not going to be allowed to play online with the other children. Sad pandas for Timmy, according to the official Microsoft policy. Cheater kills everyone on the server, blames it on a guy standing around. GTA Online. One of the more outrageous stories was when the user The Seventh Taco was just hanging out in a server, doing nothing in particular or malicious. Meanwhile, someone else in the game was instantly making every other player explode at the press of a button, while having the game blame it on Taco. Luckily, he had the thought to create a video evidence to show his innocence if it came to a ban. Overwatch player banned for main character choice, Overwatch. Overwatch has earned a reputation at this point for a rather enthusiastic fan base, and unfortunately something of a negative one. While the game does encourage players to swap between the many heroes to adapt to the game, Jean Faquinot has had to endure constant harassment and bans from using the chat system because those he plays with don't like his main hero of choice, Widowmaker. The game leaves defining exactly what toxic behavior is to its players, which opens the door for Faquinot to get mobbed the moment he picks the sniper. PC mod fixes game, locks players in cheater purgatory. Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin. The dour world of Dark Souls can be oppressive, but the community can be the light to carry you through the darkness, unless you wanted to play the game without the many little bugs and glitches that From Software didn't seem to care to fix, which were especially heinous on the PC. Players caught using the popular DS2 Fix mod, which did the jobs the developers didn't seem to care to do, would segregate players into a cheater's purgatory, limiting their interactions from the larger user base and removing a huge part of the game's appeal. PC Guardians lose their light because Discord, Destiny 2. It was a happy day for many Guardians when Destiny 2 finally made its way to PC in October, but for many, the joy of shooting and looting was interrupted unexpectedly when they received a ban for unknown reasons. Rumors soon bubbled up that third-party programs like Stream Overlays and chat services were to blame, and while Bungie quickly denied it and worked to fix those banned in error, the exact reasons these bans occurred never did come to light. Microsoft helps professor retrieve hacked account, bans him for work of hackers. Losing an Xbox Live account can be a crushing experience, and Josh Hinkle knows this better than anybody. Back in 2012, the assistant university professor and gamer loses his Xbox Live account to some Russian hackers who then proceed to run wild. 2 months later, he gets a call from an exceptions analyst, and they soon get his account back to Hinkle, who then immediately gets an email saying he's banned from the service. After another runaround from Microsoft, it turns out that an old Xbox 360 he had gotten rid of following a red ring of death was back in working order, and another totally unrelated naughty boy was stealing accounts through it. Eventually, Hinkle got his account back and a new Xbox 360 from Microsoft to replace the one he had ditched out of frustration with the company. Pokemon paperwork mistakes have consequences at tournaments. Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon. In case you weren't aware, the cuddly world of anime beasts enslaved by 12-year-olds, Pokemon, is pretty serious business on the competitive circuit. In December 2016, an EU International Pokemon Tournament used team sheets, which are typically there to make the commenters' jobs easier to assess the legitimacy of a player's team, and the punishments for entering the wrong information were swift and merciless. The problem is that they never told the players how seriously it was to be taken. One story was Jonathan Evans, a second-place winner in the Pokemon World Championship in 2016, who had mistakenly said that one of his team was using a specific item, which he had forgotten he had switched out for an item that did the exact same thing. The mistake cost him the use of his monster and consequently, the tournament. Battlefield 1 players banned for being too good. Much like For Honor, Battlefield 1 clashed with some unlucky players who triggered its fair fight cheat protection algorithms and cost them bans. Their one crime? Being too damn good at the game. Fair fight works by calculating players' feats against the global average and looking for events which are not possible or incredibly improbable without the use of hacks, such as long shots and huge kill streaks. Dedicated Battlefield player Spasmo triggered the protection while playing one night with a friend while just playing really well. PSN gamer banned for his name. Sony. Jihad Al-Mofada was happily playing within the PlayStation Network for several years under the username iJihad, when in 2016 his account was banned by Sony on the grounds that jihad was a violation of the terms of service. Not about to just accept a ban on his own name that cost him all of his online games, he reached out to Sony, who offered a name change, before just making it permanent, when Al-Mofada offered some alternatives. It took media attention for PlayStation UK to reopen the ticket, and eventually Al-Mofada did receive his games back, while unfortunately losing all of his friends and some trophy data in the process. Planning cost Pokemon Go player a soft ban. Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go challenges its players to catch them all in the real world, and one day Jimmy DeRocher wanted to be the very best, like no one ever was. DeRocher planned a circular route and used in-game mechanics such as lures to draw extra Pokemon spawns, lucky eggs to boost experience gain, and personal rules like speed to make an attempt to earn over 1 million experience points within a single day. By hour 13, the anti-cheat measures in the game called shenanigans and stopped allowing DeRocher to catch any Pokemon, just for using in-game mechanics. Getting kicked from the club becomes a sport. Club Penguin. When the popular Disney browser game Club Penguin was getting ready to shut down, a rather strange offshoot of the speedrunning community was just getting fired up. Set off by one Redditor named Buttonwalls with a video showing him signing up for and getting banned from his Club Penguin account in just under 2 minutes, the stunt was just ridiculous enough to catch fire, and many people tried to do it faster. User reignites interest in dying Super Mario Maker, gets banned. While it never had the benefit of a massive user base thanks to the system it was on, Super Mario Maker was fairly refreshing on the Wii U and one of the only titles to justify the gamepad at all. A game that should have had a long and healthy life was eventually left to drift off without new content by Nintendo. One of the more ingenious level designers, Psychro, had continued to find exploits in the game and built levels around them, creating his own mechanics for the game since Nintendo had forgotten about it. His levels received tons of attention until he got hit with a ban by Nintendo. The only reason Psychro can continue to upload levels at all is due to another Nintendo blunder. How they tied accounts to systems means that Psychro can lift the ban all he needs by transferring his data back and forth between systems. And that'll be about it for this one. If you guys like what we're doing at GamingBolt, please consider subscribing to our channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video.